studio. I'm hanging out with Howard, and he is from the Forest Health Task Force. Now, Howard, tell me, what is that about, and what do you do?
So the Forest Health Task Force we put together about 7 years ago. It's a stakeholder group with various collaborative members, including the U.S. Forest Service and including local county officials, government officials, homeowners, timber people, environmentalists, the whole gamut.
Wow, wow. Okay, so let's talk about the state of our forest. How is it? Is it healthy right now?
It's good and bad. So the bad news really relates to drought and to dry conditions and to hot conditions. Although looking outside today, you wouldn't imagine that's possible.
Of course not. Yeah.
But last year and over the last decade have been some of the driest and hottest period of time in our county's history. So that has a major impact on the forest conditions. It stresses out the trees. Because of that, we've seen the beetle kill event, which we pretty much all know about.
Right.
It's lasted for about 8 or 9 years. And now we're reaching the end of that epidemic, and that's the good news. The bad news is that the hot, dry conditions are predicted to continue indefinitely. What that does is that puts at risk the new trees that are growing up beneath the canopy that was destroyed once the old trees died off. Those new trees are coming up, but they are at risk of dying off prematurely and being stressed because of the conditions of hot and dry. So what we need to think about there is to understand better how that whole situation works.
Now, as homeowners, as visitors, as people living up here, maybe just seasonally, why do we care about that? Why is that important?
Number one, I think, would be wildfire. The hotter and drier the forest is, it is stressed, it is diseased, the ground is hot. Many of the trees are dead. A lot of the trees have fallen over, and they provide fuel for ignition of a wildfire. Once a wildfire gets started, it tends to be larger and have a greater impact on our homes, on our infrastructure, on our way of life, on our businesses, as a matter of fact. Because if we have a major wildfire event, then what will happen to a business if you can't get back to the business, if you can't get back to the studio for a month or so?
Right.
So many areas of the county, we may feel that we don't have trees right around us, so we're relatively safe. That isn't necessarily the case, because as we saw in Colorado Springs last summer, embers can fly, hot gases can fly and catch on fire whole neighborhoods. So it's something to be very concerned about. And just in general, we need to be concerned about the impact of our forest on our recreation economy and, again, on our way of life. We depend on getting out into the woods and enjoying the woods. All of that is at risk.
Okay, now what are some of the things that we can do about it?
So one of the things we can do is do a good job of monitoring forest conditions throughout the forest. That's very important. We need to work in collaboration, and we're doing that already, but the more collaborative efforts we can have, the better. We don't have a lot of money. There's not a lot of money at the federal level or at the state level. So the money we do have for forest issues, we need to use that money wisely, and that's why monitoring helps inform us as to where to use the money, where to cut, and where to leave alone.
All right, so this is good that it's kind of, we have some ideas about what we can do. Now, tell me a little bit about forest management, and what do you feel like, what would be an example of good forest management? So
getting back to the point I was just talking about, it's a matter of prioritizing. We have limited budgets. So where do we cut to best protect against wildfire? Where do we cut trees or do treatments to protect our watersheds? How can we protect our infrastructure? Here's one example. Where do we need to do harvesting in order to protect power lines coming into our water plants? Because if we lose the power lines, then we have no water, and it's a double whammy.
Gotcha.
So all of those things are a matter of prioritizing and being smart and stretching our limited resources.
Okay, now Howard, if people have questions, maybe they'd like to get involved a little bit further, or maybe you piqued their interest about a little something that they hadn't been thinking about, how do they find out more information, or how do they get in touch with you? www.foresthealthtaskforce.org. So it's a long word, but go ahead and Google it or just put it in. foresthealthtaskforce.org, and that's a go-to site that we link into other sites that various organizations have. That would be a good start. All right, you guys, check it out for more information. Howard, thanks so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
I definitely appreciate it. We have more Summit Sunrise coming up after this, so don't go anywhere.